So the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, just ordered the FBI to start creating lists, not of foreign terrorists, not of criminals, but of Americans with opposing views. And they're using Charlie Kirk's assassination as the catalyst, where NSPM 7 declared ideological war. This memo is essentially a playbook for how to fight that war. The memo directs the FBI to establish cooperators, infiltrators planted inside political movements to gather intel and testify against members. Essentially COINTELPRO with a loyalty pledge. Here's what every American has to understand. There actually is no domestic terrorism charge in the United States. It's a definition, it's a label, but there's no legal process for designating a group as domestic terrorists. Now, Congress has tried multiple times. Every single time, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle backed away, because civil liberties groups across the political spectrum warned it would collide head-on with the First Amendment. Americans have constitutional standing, due process, the right to association. So when Congress said no, Pam Bondi said fine, we'll just keep it on spreadsheets, offline. No notice, no hearing, no judicial review. What puts you on the list? Opposition to law and immigration enforcement, adherence to radical gender ideology, anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity. Which kind of Christianity? Hostility towards traditional views on family, religion, and morality. As defined by whom? These aren't behaviors, these are beliefs. So advocates, activists, organizers, anyone who shows up on the wrong side of the culture war is now a surveillance category. And there's a term for building a list like this. It's called a political litmus test. And the detail that should alarm everyone is that this program looks backwards. The memo directs agencies to review incidents from the past 5 years that may have involved today's definition of domestic terrorism. So activities that occurred under previous legal frameworks can now be recharacterized as terrorism adjacent and fed into the network mapping apparatus. Now the DOJ grant offices are instructed to prioritize states with anti-domestic terrorism programs. And the federal government can use the increasing case numbers to justify more funding and expanded powers. It's a feedback loop. It's what some analysts call a self-licking ice cream cone. Now, most people caught in this framework will never get prosecuted. They don't need to be. Punishment isn't the point. Deterrence is. It's the invitation to self-censor. It's fear. Because you see, this memo doesn't just build a list. It builds a self-perpetuating system. You define the threat broadly, in ideological terms. Then you build the infrastructure to find it. We start policing ourselves before we ever get a knock on the door. That's what they want. Constitutional scholar Steve Vladeck calls frameworks like this legally empty but rhetorically dangerous. They're designed to make you obey in advance. So what does this actually mean for you? Well, if you ever donated to a bail fund, went to the wrong protest, shared a post from the wrong account, retweeted the wrong organization, you're now one tip line call away from landing in an FBI report. Here's the part that should concern everyone, left, right, and center. The apparatus doesn't change when the administration changes. Today, they claim to target Antifa organizers and trans rights activists. Tomorrow, it will be gun owners, homeschool networks, pro-life groups. Because this is how authoritarianism starts, not with tanks, with definitions, broad ones.